It was always him.
No. So you agree him disagree with me?
No. I agree because he found after listening to what Jacob and Gideon said, that's when he was like, okay, his perspective changed, right?
So I guess it was
because
just the
of the
wording,
wedding.
huh? Just the way we all said it, I guess.
If I can add just one thing, I just want to be clear, and I think we're all saying this, but it's like being a leader and being a man is not being a tyrant.
No,
Yes.
Nah, facts.
Yes,
You're right.
it's
Right.
not.
Facts.
It's not over controlling.
Yeah.
It's not
Facts.
manipulative.
For
It's
sure.
not forceful.
for sure.
Like leadership is more about, like I think you put it beautifully. It's like how taking advice from everybody and then building your decision off of that, making a decision that's what is best for everybody instead of like what's just best for me. And I think that's like, I think most of us or all of us are in agreement that women trying to be men is unhealthy for them.
Yep.
It's very.
But I think that their movement they do have a point in that in the past there were men who would let that power go to their heads, and that's where that hurt comes from. And we have a history, especially in America, we have a history of fatherlessness. Where you don't have that good father, or most people don't even have a father at all.
Yeah.
And so I think that's like acknowledging hey, that's where this hurt comes from, is that people have been hurt by their fathers. And so they might view the father as a tyrant or a despot or someone who is selfish, just wants to be in control and manipulate. Just like acknowledging that, I think is important.
For sure.
But I think what we've all said still stands. Like being a leader is more about sacrifice and making the best decision for everybody.
Yeah. No, this is one question that came to my mind when we were talking, and I think this one's gonna be like a very we're gonna be very interesting. So because when James was describing, and I think that's a lot of us, we have that mindset, right? Like when we talk about a man, we say like a man is there to provide, for his family, and to lead, and as we know, but that providing, because we know what provide means when we say provide. It's like providing like a living, putting food on the table and everything like that. But we're in a society where it can happen that your partner, your wife, I'm talking about wife most of the time, like your wife, like she's banking more than you. It happens, right?
Take little bank.
You know what I'm saying? Man. So my question is, right? How do you think in that relationship, like the man should properly still lead?
If the woman is making
She's
more?
gotta leave though.
Yeah.
This guy.
Wait, you saying if the female is making more than the guy?
Yeah. The female is making more
How
than
can
the
he
guy.
handle
And
being
how
a leader?
Yeah, still being the leader. How would you?
That's hard. That's kind of hard. Cause you know what? Like what make it hard though is kind of like, cause a guy instinct, right, is to lead, right?
Yeah.
So he's thinking like, damn,
Yeah.
she make more than me.
Yeah.
I can't really say nothing.
Yeah.
So like he's thinking like a lot of things in his head, cause like one, guys don't like to be disrespected.
Yeah.
That's what hurt them the most, right? So when a woman bring up money, it sounds very disrespectful. Right? Like, relax now, like
This guy sounds
like, hey, she telling you like you talking about money, like relax now. Like, you know, you have the one paying the bills. Like that hits you hard, bro. It's gonna hit you hard for real. Like, and she tell you like, I'm the one who's paying the bill around here? How you gonna answer that question?
Juice.
I feel like
For me,
Yeah.
if we get to that point of woman making more than you, and she's like
Robbing
let's
the
say,
net.
like you guys having argument and she bring it up,
Yeah.
she don't understand herself. She don't
That's what we mean
understand.
when we say they think with emotion, right? Because they're not
Yeah.
thinking it's gonna hurt your feelings right away. They just say it.
Yeah.
And they just hit you. Like, dang, I am. She's right. Well, like, damn. She making 100K.
I'm making 20.
That's a huge gap.
I just feel like personally, I don't care how much my wife makes.
Same.
I don't ask about it. If she wants to make more, deny. Don't tell me. I don't want to know.
Keep it for yourself.
I'm not going there.
Hey,
I don't
no,
want
no,
that
no,
boy saying yes, so you hear that one.
I'm not going over there.
I just when I make the financial decisions about like how much money, for example, I should be putting for rent, or if you have a mortgage or stuff, right? I want to make decision based on the fact that, hey, what if, you know, what it can I take it on my own first, right? And then now if she wants to contribute, yeah, but it's always that mindset where I don't check how much she makes. I'm not interested. And I just want to make sure that regardless how much she's making, she wants to contribute, she can. But just making sure I can still cover. Right.
But the key point that you want to
Wait,
make
wait,
sure
Hold
you're
on.
covering doing your whatever
Yeah.
you need to do,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What if you're not able to do it? I think that's what the question
I'm
is.
going to
Like,
downgrade. We're all going to downgrade to the point that
you
I
can
can.
afford
Yeah.
what you have. All right, I get
Yeah.
the point. I get what
So
you're saying.
for me,
Mm-hmm.
that's when the teamwork comes
Okay.
between because I feel like if she has her money and I have my money,
Get close to him.
we're not. If she has her money and I have my money, we are not working together. We are not on the same page. So it don't matter how much she's bringing in, how much I'm bringing in, but this money coming here and this money coming here, it has to meet in the middle. That's for me, and I feel like and then that's when we can figure out what to pay and what to save.
Yeah, bro, that's a good point.
Yep.
That's how, for me, that's how I run things. Yeah. And then maybe I might be wrong, but I'll say I'm grateful I got a wife like that. That she believe if she go to work, she work for us. I go to work, I work for them. Yeah.
To your question, before my wife and I got married, we read this book. It was a premarital book. I think it's called For Him and For Her. These two couples that they did interviews based on. So the husband interviewed 10 women, and the wife interviewed 10 men, right? And so they asked him like different, like multiple questions, and then it always like see how many men think alike or how many women think alike, and and stuff like that. And it was most like interesting reading because you're trying to understand how a woman thinks and how she functions and stuff like that, right? But reading the version of the woman was always interesting because there was always one key factor that always stood out was like this is where most men think alike, right? And I'm gonna get back to the question, but it was like, can I use the word sex?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So that part right there, it's like most men think about that, right? More than the woman does. And then I was like, what? But then the more I've talked to multiple men, I'm like, that is so true because what he described it as if like a man has two boxes, one that has all the things going on, and then one is just empty, right? So if we need to shut down, I can just go to this box right here and just chill. As to a woman has like maybe 20 boxes, like a computer. When you open up a computer with multiple windows, that's how a woman is running in the back of her mind, in her brain. This is what James, you can disagree all you want to. It's okay. I know you want to disagree.
Explain.
Trying to say women are smarter than us?
No, that's not what I was going with. Because there's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
That's going back to the emotional thing, right? And then going back to the money thing is what I'm getting in with this, with the financial thing. I'm gonna speak personally about my wife, right?
Word.
When I was making more money, I felt like the emotional side of it wasn't there. We weren't there emotionally, and it wasn't fair for her. But when I started making less money and started seeing like my faults, the things that I would do wrong, or things that like the way we talked about like a broken home or anything like that. When I wasn't being a husband to her, thinking I'm being a husband because I just want to provide, I want to do all these things. When I wasn't there for her, I noticed that struggle my wife has told me this. She would rather struggle financially than emotionally.
Teach me.
Like she would rather struggle financially than emotionally because as long as financially we're there, we can work through it together. And that, like, to me, it didn't make sense because no, I want to provide, I want to do all these things, but I got a job that pays less, but I've gained so much more. When it comes to my wife,
I'm writing
when
down.
it comes to when it comes to my son
Life,
and things like that,
family.
because I had a job where it's like, yeah, I still took on a part-time job,
That's
but even then, with a part-time job, I can say, you know what, I don't want to go in today and just spend more time with my family.
Yeah.
You know, like little things like that is what matters the most. And you know, if she's making more money than you, I think some guys, like you said, when you take that advice, because as a guy, you want to provide, you want to do all those things. But if you're doing your part, you know, even if you're making less money, your wife won't use that against you. She's only going to use that when she feels, because she sees that you're trying, you're doing something that's very helpful. But when you're not doing that, you just want to be lazy and sit down and not do anything. That's when it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
That's when she's
Yeah.
like, man, 100 stack on this table. What you got? What you got, homeboy?
I got
$50 in your pocket.
I got 20.
I got 20. I got 20K. I got 100K. You know, things like that. So like that is like a big deal. Like if you're not trying as a man, if you just want to be, you as a man, there comes a time in your life when you're married, like Andrew's like when you're married and you got your kids and things like that. It's almost as if like it's an unwritten rule. You can't be lazy. That laziness is not allowed. It's not fair for your family because when you become lazy, your wife sees it, your kids see it, and that's not fair.
Yeah.
It's not fair for the house.
Yeah.
You don't want to come because when you come home, you don't know what kind of hat you have to wear. Because sometimes, most of the time, most men come home after the wives are already at home with the kids, and you know, and again, Jacob, I know we're talking about because we got kids and things like that, right? But you don't know what kind of hat you have to wear when you walk inside the house.
Yeah.
You walk in there, they're throwing pots and pans at each other, and so you're like, yeah, and I just got into a fight with my boss, but now I got to make sure this is okay first, right? Things like that. And having that conversation with your wife, having those open conversations, that definitely helps a lot. I feel like that's helped me a lot, especially having my wife now. Like, as to before, I never did that. But when she, you know, she had to remind me, she's like, I'm not your enemy. I'm here to help you. Like, my wife has told me, I don't want to lead. I want you to lead. I want you to take over. And I'm like, but in my mind, I feel like I'm doing it the right way. But she's like, no, I don't feel like you're doing it the right way. And then it takes this
Right.
to make me realize, oh, snap. Okay, I get what most women want to be led. And you hear that. You see it everywhere. I want to be led. Yeah. Whether it's emotionally, like they want to be led. But when you don't do that, when they feel like they have to carry on that mantra of being the man, that's when it becomes a problem. I told you, Gideon, I give my mom props. I said, Mom, you're like the best mom ever. You're the mom and the dad of the house. My mom's like, I'm going to stop you right there. I was 12 years old. I still remember this. She said, I'm going to stop you right there. God didn't make me to be a man. I cannot teach you how to defend yourself against 20, 30, 50 men, whatever. I can't do that. But what I can teach you is how to treat a woman. Well, that hurt. I'm here giving my mom props, but when she told me that, I'm like,
you cry though?
That's powerful.
huh?
You cry?
Nah, bro. I don't cry.
Dang, I want you to cry.
I'm a man, bro.
Look at
Men don't cry.
Look at that.
My tear went back in there.
Ibrahim, we say no muscle needed here.
No muscle. Okay, my bad.
No muscle
My
needed.
tears did go back in.
Yeah, no
My tears
muscle
went back
needed.
in. No, I'm saying my tears go back.
I really hope, you know, people out there, you know, listen to what you're saying because like 5 minutes you just said what can, you know, be the summary of like a 20-year marriage. I feel like you've been married for 30, 40 years. Honestly, because you have a lot of wisdom in kind of that you know, mindset of like understanding that relationship because marriage gets not easy.
It's not.
And then, you know, the example that you took and, you know, that willingness of women, you know, to be led. I think also, that's just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but I also feel like, you know, those feminist women will feel like, oh, they can do both, right? Have not gotten to that stage where they have been led by the right person. You know, because as a woman, I think it's just natural to feel like, you know, hey, I want to be in a place where I'm safe with
Yeah.
like a man. The same way, right? When you grow up and you get kind of a little bit mature, right? You feel like
Amber.
kind of understand the importance of going back home and speaking with someone. You know, just having someone to speak with.
Yeah.
And that's something, you know, if you're like a single mom, you know, after you're done taking care of your kids and then you have no one else to talk to, no one else to ask you how you're doing, and it does hurt.
Yeah, that's
Does.
tough.
You know, you just made me realize something. I'm a huge DC fan. I like anything Batman. Like Batman's just my guy. But there's this show, Superman and Lois on Max. Um, when you think of Superman, bulletproof, like a god, pretty much, right? Only thing that stops Superman is what? Kryptonite. We all know that. Kryptonite or what's that? I'll get back to it. The villain that kills him, the one that's pretty much like Superman. Anyways, the show Superman and Lois really made me view marriage in a way that's very interesting, because in that show Superman now he's married to a human being, right? He's married to Lois Lane. She's human, right? But she's also like this tough woman, like, you know, things like that. And, you know, Superman is kind of like, all right. Like when she goes off, he's like, all right. Like he kind of calms down a little bit, right? But what in decisions that he makes, he always makes sure he talks to her. Now, mind you, this is Superman, the person that has to save the world. As a man, as a dad, you're leaving, you're going to work and things like that. Essentially, you're like Superman because you have your world with you, right? You're trying to save, right? You gotta do this, you gotta do that, and things like that. And there came a time where when she was dying and he was also dying, it's almost as if like he became human again. Like that was like, you got to see that emotional side. But one thing I really loved was that no matter how strong Superman was, because if we're being honest, if he wants to go on a killing spree and just take the whole world out, he can do that in an instant. It's nothing to him, right? You can't stop him. But having Lois right there and him leading his house, your kids have powers just like you, and he's raising two boys. They see what type of dad that they have in the house. Now, mind you, he was raised by humans, not aliens. He can do whatever he wants to them. But just him seeing the relationship with him and Lois and with the kids, just how he led that house, it's almost as if like he was just a human being. Because outside, I got that cape on, I'm Superman. I watched this video, this guy said something that was interesting. He said, I feel like Superman, but I feel like my wife is the cape. Bro, you can see Superman standing there. Cool. That's great. But it's the cape that makes a huge difference when he has it on. You're like, man, we pretty much got like when the kids see, it's like, we got a savior. We got our dad, like they just feel excited. Yeah. And that's how he was in that show. And, you know, obviously at the end of the show, they both, spoiler alert, they both passed away and all that. But because, you know, he got old and sick with the heart. It's not a movie, it's a show. It's a show. But seeing that side of him when he saw like how he lost his wife, it just made me think about every decisions that he was making in the house. He would sit there and talk to his wife, and he would listen. I was never like that, but the more I kept talking to my wife, now I'm very comfortable having uncomfortable conversations with my wife because she's allowed me to have that. As to before, not saying that I didn't have the power to do it, I just didn't want to do it because it goes back to like we talk about the society and things like that. Yeah. But just having that mindset of like being humble and vulnerable and having that woman that can help you out is very, very important. And that's why I said, like, when you're a man, if she's making more money than you, if you are not trying, she's gonna look at like you got to do something. Yeah, she's making more money. She can pay for everything and things like that. But little things like going on a date here and there, like things like that. You know, making sure you're there for the kids, for her first of all, and then the kids and things like that. That means a lot. That really means a lot because your kids see that. They grow up and they get to see that. Yeah. Most of us didn't grow up with that in the house. So you don't know what that's like, right? But when the kid sees that from you, when they see that you're trying as a dad, like you're doing all these things, you go to work, you come back late, you're tired, and you don't complain about your job. You don't complain about anything. You still, and you got a wife that really wants to help you out. And is, like I said, I have an amazing wife that, she tells me, she's like, I want you to lead. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, but I am. I think I know what I'm doing, but I really didn't know what I was doing because it wasn't just like, oh, I got to do this, be Superman. No, sit down and listen sometimes. Yeah. Have that humble posture. Humble posture. Yeah. Which I didn't have. But now I have that, right? Nice. And it's definitely helping me a lot. So, yeah.
I mean, guys, I love the. Oh, go ahead, and then we're gonna wrap this up.
Yeah. I didn't want that boy to talk for real.
I was ready to go.
I was ready to hit on AB for real. He started making some good points. I was like, why is he making good points? Last minute. He's making good points last minute. Like, whatever they all said, man, even what he said with like because I believe in 100, right? No 50-50. 100. If I don't have it, I know you got me. Yeah. If you don't have it, I got your back. Yeah. But if you both got each other back, it's like, but everybody's situation is different, right? Yeah. Where they might want it to be 100, and then the woman might be like, nah, I feel like you should be taking care of everything. I should just be taking care of what I need to do with my money, right? But if you guys have common ground, everything just get easy. It's like, all right, I know my man was making a lot of money, but now he's not. I got you too. This is what I have. Yeah. What you got, we both bring to the table. Take care of what we need to take care of. Yeah. For sure. And everything will still be good at home. Yeah. For sure. Just gotta have that understanding. That's all.
Yeah, you got a last thing to say. Go ahead,
okay, man. I'm just gonna go around to the same thing. For me, if you have a woman that her money, that the money she's working for is her money, and your money is the family money, there's no relationship there.
He ain't lying though.
There's nothing there. You're not building anything. Yeah, that's how I believe.
Guys, you see, that's why I like this type of podcast, man. My podcast said, let's see where it goes. Definitely we saw where it went, bro.
Yeah, payment, though.
I ain't see my cash app, my Venmo, or nothing.
I've been checking my phone for it. Like, I'm not hearing no alert.
I even text the FBI.
Yeah. So what we're going to do, AB, you can say the last word. You can look at this camera there because I don't know if this one died, but you can just say your last word right there.
Can we bet it? You say it died.
I just want to say, to all the men out there, speaking a lot mostly to men, but there are groups and things like that, and that you can find. And if you ever need to reach out to us or anything like that, man, leave a comment in the comment section, and we can always help you find people and stuff like that. Even if you have a hard time, because I feel like a lot of people have a hard time seeking help from people at church. We can always help you find people that are not at church. Maybe one day we can, still you can come into church. So yeah, and shout out to all the women out there too. I don't think yes, we see social media giving y'all praise and stuff like that, but this is from the men that are here, the truth, that we see like what y'all go through and what y'all do every single day, waking up, taking care of the kids, things that we're not doing most of the time because we're already going to work. Shout out to y'all, man. We love y'all. Sure. Thank y'all so much. Thank you to all the moms, to all our wives. Thank y'all for everything y'all do. And to some of the guys out there that are slacking, come on, man. Get your weight up.
There you go. Hey, Juice, I have something for you.
Teach me.
You don't have to look at there. You have one in front of you.
That boy, that boy had to turn his back.
I hope that camera don't work.
That boy had to turn his back.
That camera don't work. I hope this you start recording dies.
Hey, that camera's wireless. Can't even use battery for real. It's radioactive. Nah, but hey, man. Thank you guys for all showing up, man. This was a very, very good conversation. Like, for guys, women, it's like we're not choosing a side. We're just trying to get a better understanding of like how we think and how we can like solve issues and make a better home, basically, man. Yeah. So if you need a conversation like that, man, always show up, man. My boy is here. I mean, it's my house, but I'll let him rent it.
Rent free. He making the payment.
He's paying the payment, but like, it's still my home now. Nah, but thank you guys, man.
Yeah, for sure. James right there.
Silent but deadly.
No, I mean, it's very hard to go after both of you. But for those who kind of still have question about women, those questions will never end.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. Like marriage is a journey. And then, I was very glad to hear perspective from AB, from Gideon, married.
You going to hell, man. That time is coming, so Kanye dead. Hey, I'm pre-married.
Pre-made.
No. It'll be more serious. Like, it's been just a great conversation, and then, I'm just very glad that you invited me again, and just for those out there, seeking to understand what marriage is, just get married, and then you will struggle from there and see how it goes from there. Just happy to be here, and see you next time.
Thank you, man.
First of all, I'm gonna say I'm grateful that I'm here because I was not actually planning to be here.
Get close to the mic.
The mic was fine. So, but I'm grateful because I was able to call more, and more told me that, hey guys, he told me, hey Andrew, we're having a guys talk at Joey's house, and I was like, oh, I'm not doing anything, I can pull up, So I came, and this is what I find. It's a beautiful thing, As a married man, I kind of like this conversation. To be honest, even like I said a lot, but I learn a lot from you guys. And I hope people are watching us. You learn from this too. And if you want advice, or you are struggling, we're here. We're here. Just find us. We're here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Humble posture. I like that.
Oh yeah. Well, I also just want to thank you, gentlemen, for letting me be a part. I should share halfway through that I was not married, and I don't know if y'all were ready for that, but I just wanted to say, I guess speaking for the single men, we live in a culture that is kind of against marriage right now, and we live in a modern age, and all of these gender issues are so new for humanity, and I don't think we give that credit enough, that all these issues we've been talking about have really only been happening for the past 100 200 years. So just to give ourselves a little bit of grace in that, and like y'all said, like just trying to understand and to know each other better, that's the goal. And for single guys, like for sure, like I think it's especially Christian guys, like need to get real serious about this stuff. And just keep, just if you can find some married men, get under them and keep learning, keep loving.
Sure.
That's it.
All right, guys. So I was your host, Gideon, and my last word would be just like a few words. Like this type of meeting is really good. Like that was the first prompt, I guess. Men just finding spaces where they can just spend that time with each other, like having fun, but also having conversation. This conversation was not scripted. Like that's what I like with my podcast. The way that the Lord put in my heart to have this podcast is just having open conversation, and let's see where the conversation goes. And I've learned a lot from everybody, and that's what I like. You know what I'm saying? And once again, just like I think it was AB said it before, and I think that's everybody. What we're trying to do, and in conversations like that, what we're trying to do is just really understanding the real balance when it comes to like a relationship between men and women, because like there is a need of balance, but we need to understand the appropriate way to go about it. So talking about it, seeing different perspectives, it help us to kind of start shaping that good balance, because I feel like a strong family is a family where there's balance. Where the woman, she's free to be the woman that she needs to be, and the man is allowed to be the man that he needs to be. So that was a great conversation, and for the last prom though, like guys, if you don't make more than your wife, it's okay. It happens. You know what I'm saying? It happens. This is America. This is America. You know,
Just was
That boy in his room right now is clapping his hand like, thank you, boy. I've been waiting on this.
They can just wash some dishes. They'll be fine.
it happens, but like I love the way Andrew and AB put it. You know, Andrew said like, especially if you're in a relationship, I feel like, and if you're gonna go to marriage, because that's the ultimate relationship that I believe in. When you get married, I advise and I strongly pray that you guys find the way to put your goods together. You know, put your goods together. Whatever the man's winning, whatever the woman's winning, put it together, and you guys you go plan from there. Yeah. But also just like AB also said, like if your wife, she's making more than you, it shouldn't be about that, but it should be about you as a man. What are you doing? Are you showing up? Are you working? Are you not just sleeping? Are you making less because you're not trying, or you're just making less because of the circumstance that you are? Because those are the difference. You know, you may make less because you're not trying. You know, you're not really trying. But sometimes you're trying and you're just in a circumstance where she's just making more than you, and that's okay, and that's fine. But you should try. You should really try. And even on that note, like I related a little bit with what James was saying, because especially when I got married with my wife, like in the earlier stage, being a refugee coming here, my first job was not the greatest job. I started like making like $8 an hour, and then moved from $8 an hour to like $10 an hour. My wife, she graduated from nursing school, and you know how they pay those nurses. You know how they give them money. You know, I was not close to make what she was making. You know what I'm saying? Like her day paycheck was maybe like 3 weeks of mine. You know what I'm saying?
2 months pay.
You know what I'm saying? Oh my God. So, but just like James said, like I don't know if it's an African thing, but the way I was thinking, and thank God I have a wife who was understanding also my way. For me, I always strategize leading my family out of what I can really afford, because in my mind it's like, okay, what if today she's like, I want to take a break, I don't want to work anymore. Yeah. So I always wanted to set myself like for success. So this is what I make. That's the life. That's what I'm gonna base like budget. It's off of that. Yeah. Now, if she makes more, thank the Lord, we have a surplus. You know. But I'm budgeting my life on what I know I can afford, because we don't know tomorrow. Something can happen. Like I said, there are times where she became pregnant because we had 2 kids, and here in America, they'll give her like 4 weeks off or 6 weeks off. That's not enough for a mother to bond with her child. Yeah. So I always resorted to tell my wife, no, you're gonna take 6 months at home, 7 months at home. And so that time that she's at home, she's not working. So imagine that I had to budget from both of our incomes all the time. Then at that moment, it would have been a problem. So I always budget to what I can afford, because if those situations happen, at least it's not knocking off the family dynamics, you know? So yeah, those are just fruit for thoughts. But we love you guys. Thank you guys for coming on. Let's see where it goes. Thank you, gentlemen. You guys were amazing. Yes, sir. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Wow. Yeah.